Let's fucking go. We about to go big. Kill him with the PrizePicks. Let's fucking go. We going out blazing.
Let's get hunting.
This is population. About to go big. Kill him with the PrizePicks. About to go big. Kill him with the PrizePicks. 24/7 researching, it's all a fantasy. But if I make the right plays, it pays automatically. Bankroll showing that I know it don't strategy. On a winning streak, I'm stacking a dose of the bookies, all get mad at me. Confident with how it plays, not clicking on a flex today. 10 times the money, and we all about to get paid. Eric and Josh on the stream, they be killing it. Never gonna stop it, they like if you feeling it. Digging the players, they all never time. You can't make up your mind, and just go with your gut. Fantasizing inside your cloud. Gabby Williams said, watch your mouth. They 1 and they 2, I played the over, they come through. Jackie Young and Kelsey Plum, pick them both, we stacking them. Going big to the maximum, just push them and we cashing them. Let's fucking go. We about to go big. Kill him with the PrizePicks. Let's fucking go. We going out blazing. This is population. About to go big. Kill him with the PrizePicks. About to go big. Kill him with the PrizePicks. We about to go big.
This is the game.
We going out blazing.
Let's get hunting.
This is population. About to go big. Kill him with the PrizePicks. About to go big. Kill him with the PrizePicks.
All right, what is up, fam? It's Thursday, August 4th. We got a 2-game slate. Coming off a pretty rough night last night. We put too much trust into Indiana, and we got burned, rightfully so, because you can't trust Indiana ever. They have nothing to play for, and they have the worst offensive rating and worst defensive rating. So live and learn. We move on from that, and hopefully bounce back today. And yeah, I think we're gonna have to work really hard together as a team on this slate. Do you agree on that, Eric? And how are you doing today?
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting night to say the least. They just right before we went live gave us Turner and Skylar as a standalone props for Phoenix. So it's going to be a night of news to say the least.
Yeah, a lot of moving pieces. We'll try our best to work with what we have available. But yeah, you brought up a good point. Some unknowns on key pieces like Tarasi and Enrique. So we'll touch on that and try to work around it. Yeah, and then what's there any other key thing? I think that's it. And then we'll let people trickle in and chat, and I'll catch up with them. But we can start, with the Phoenix. Have they posted any more props besides Skylar and Turner, or are they the only ones up?
Yeah, it's still just the two in the team props.
Okay. All right. Well, we can touch on Phoenix the best we can with what we have available. But yeah, we have a rematch of what we had on was it Tuesday? Phoenix at Connecticut again, and we saw Connecticut just absolutely dominate on both sides of the ball, especially on defense. They just completely shut down Phoenix and made it really hard for them to score. Sophie tried her best out there. I thought she would really thrive once Tarasi went out with that quad injury. Tarasi only played about 11 minutes before leaving. And Sophie led the team in minutes, but she was throwing up a lot of bricks. And Connecticut made things really difficult for her. If Tarasi's out again today, I think depending what Sophie's lines are, maybe can consider her point if it's low enough, like around 13.5. But yeah, it's risky against this Connecticut defense. But the usage and minutes are going to be there for her. And then Skylar, she'll just have to carry the team on her back. And I think if Tarasi's out, did they give us some turnover prop for Sky yet? No, not yet.
No.
I think if they give us a turnover prop for her at 2.5, with all the ball handling she's going to do and try to carry the team, and Connecticut being first in opponent turnover percentage, I think that could be in play. Maybe they just don't give it to us because of waiting on Tarasi news and just the risk of posting that prop because it would definitely be of interest. Yeah. So what do you think about Sky? If Tarasi is out, do you like her points or any of her other lines? Since we know she already dominates usage so much with Tarasi playing, but yeah, she's gonna have to carry the load.
I'm curious to see if right now if they're going to end up adjusting or bumping any of these lines yet, because it seems like they just kind of reposted this from the other night, or at least these two players so far. So I'm genuinely curious if they leave it at 19 and a half for her real points. I think we could still go there for that, since it's just, I mean, honestly, just above her normal road split. And with just the usage and shot volume that's going to be missing with Tarasi being out, she could probably, I think, still end up with 20 points. But we also have Diamond going to be back in the mix for us tonight. And
Is she
big
confirmed
question,
back?
she's supposed to be. I think she's going to play here, especially if
Okay.
Tarasi's going to be limited. But let me double check that real fast here.
Yeah, that'd be good to figure out. I mean, she hasn't played in a long time, and even when she did come back, she played limited minutes and looked like she couldn't stay out there long.
Yeah, she's off the injury report, so she's going to play in some fashion tonight.
Okay, that changes some things up. Because if she's any what healthy and her normal self, she's a usage monster, so she could take away from some usage from Sky and Sophie.
Yeah, definitely. And with Tarasi too, we're really not sure, is Diamond gonna start for this one, or are they gonna continue to keep her off the bench? I would imagine probably still off the bench just for a little bit of fatigue and trying to ease her back in conditioning.
Hmm.
But I mean, who's gonna step in for Tarasi? That's gonna be a kind of a big question mark
Well,
for us.
yeah, I was going to ask you that next. Jenny Sims checked in when Tarasi left, or she usually checks in for her. But then when Tarasi left, Jenny didn't really pick up that many minutes. So it looks like maybe Megan picked up some as well, and they split it between Jenny and Megan.
Yeah, I know they've been wanting to work in Megan into the offense. She's been kind of like their corner piece for the bench, and she honestly probably could have even played even longer. She picked up some early fouls there and ended up having to check out for a short period there. But yeah, I mean, if she's going to end up in the starting role, we could get some, last minute props being posted up for us that could be fruitful.
Yeah. Okay. Well, if you look at the usage in that game, with Tarasi being out for majority of it, no surprise. Sky led the team at 25.8, but then Sophie was right behind her at 21.7. Um, if they post Sophie's prop at less than 14 points and Tarasi's out, would you really consider that? Or are you just going to fade her altogether?
I'd still consider it just for the fact that, you know Sophie's so good at staying agile and mobile around the perimeter, that I think going up against any of the twin towers, even though she is lacking a little bit of size, just being able to chuck it from three so much, and with what we're going to have that void missing with Tarasi out tonight, she could easily just, rear back and light it up like she did this last game. She gave us a sweat. I know we were on her unders, and that first quarter, I mean, she just could not miss, and she was just chucking it every chance she could. So
Yeah.
we could see that again tonight, and probably gonna have to check out her Twitter to see if she's feeling sassy again. Because anytime she's made a statement or
Uh-huh.
something like that, she's had herself a game. So
It's true.
interested to see what's going on
Yeah.
with that.
Yeah. When she gets her hair done, she likes to flaunt that. Yeah. I mean, the minutes are going to be there no matter what, if Tarasi plays or not. Um, and the usage is going to be there in this matchup. So I think you really have to consider her points. Would you say the limit, since we don't have the props, would you say the limit's like 14 and a half for you, for her?
Yeah, nothing over 15,
Yeah.
because she's a 3-point shooter, so we want to stick with that. that 3-point kind of cusp there for us.
Okay. Yep. And then Turner, I played her under that last game on Tuesday, and she finished with 0 points. But she tried, man. She was missing layups. I mean, she missed 2 layups and went to the free throw line and missed both free throws. It's probably too risky to go under again, especially if Tarasi's out. Would you agree?
It's gonna be a little risky, yeah. I think if Tarasi's out, probably not. You know, that's a little too much risk. But
Yeah.
if Tarasi is in, I definitely think we could consider, especially with Diamond gonna be back tonight.
Oh, that's a great point. Diamond will soak up Diamond will soak up a lot of field goal attempts near the basket and in the paint, because that's like her specialty. And that obviously that's where Turner lives and thrives. I mean, both games this season, she's gone under this 4 points. The first matchup she had 2, and like I said, the most recent one she had 0. 2 field goal attempts in the most recent and 3 in the first matchup. She's always in consideration for unders, but yeah, I think we have to wait on the Tarasi news. And okay, I guess that's all we can work with right now. Just to cap off if and scenario here with Tarasi, with Skylar, is there any core play that you would go with if Tarasi is ruled out and these props stay around the same lines?
Yeah, I still like Skylar, her 5.5 assists. I think that's kind of in play for us right now, but especially with Tarasi being out, her road average is already at 6 for her assist here. And if she can fall into an extra 1 or 2, plus having, hopefully, with Diamond being back, another person that can actually play make for the team. Um, and honestly, I wouldn't even be mad if we got Megan into the mix as well. She's a reasonable playmaker, and that could give us another option for Sky to connect with somebody.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it'd be a good correlation to pair with Sophie's points too, if that was less than 15. Okay, now I would keep an eye out for turnovers for Sky too, especially if Tarasi's out. And Petty's been just balling lately. She started really strong in that game. She's been getting done fantasy wise, so I would keep an eye out for her fantasy points if it's around her average. If it's anywhere between 22 and 24, I think that could be in play. And yeah, if Tarasi's out, we'd have to look at her assists too. I imagine they're going to juice it if Tarasi's out. They're not going to probably put it at the 3.5. They'll probably put it at 4.5. But if you look at the advanced stats here, Petty is third on assist percentage behind Tarasi and Sky. So, but I think it's going to be 4.5, and I think that's too much on the fringe to consider. And probably I agree with you. Probably choose Sky's assist over that.
Yeah, maybe we'll get lucky and they'll put back her rebound prop. I know they had kind of left that up there for a little bit for her, and I mean, I think honestly, if we can get it under 5, that might not be the worst.
She's so good at offensive rebounding.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yep. Okay, but Connecticut is first in rebound percentage, so it's hard to rebound on them. Okay, now we can move to Connecticut, and we know what the lineup's going to be. We know what we're going to get here. That last game, Alyssa Thomas did her thing again. She had her second career triple-double. So, it was the second triple-double ever for her. Just absolutely torched it like we thought. And we made her the cover girl again today because, I mean, nothing's changed in this matchup. So she should have her way again. Only thing that's changed, though, are the props. So they got really juiced, as we thought they would. Her assists went from 5.5 to now 6.5. Her rebounds went from 7.5 to 8. So the rebounds got a little less juice there. And all her other props went way up. Her fantasies at 36.5 and her PRAs at 30.5. I believe her PRA in that matchup on Tuesday was at 28.5. So we got a 2 PRA juice there. They added back her stock prop. They didn't have it in the last game on Tuesday. I looked out for it. I wanted to pair it with Tarasi's turnovers, which is one of our core plays on Tuesday. But they brought it back today. But we know the history with that prop after we got burned by it by the scorekeepers. What do you think about this prop? If since all her lines are juiced, but we want access to her in this matchup, or do you want to just stick with her rebound assist potential?
I would like it more, honestly, if Tarasi was going to be in, since we do like her turnovers, kind of on Phoenix side of things here. Could be potentially more profitable if they do end up going with Megan in the starting unit. I'm really hoping that they do, at least to just try and match some of the size that Connecticut's going to have on the other side for them. But man, I'm still so salty about the scorekeeper and that 1.5 for Thomas.
Yeah, yeah.
I honestly, I think just she's just doing so much right now. If we're going to consider her stocks, then we should just go for the fantasy score. I mean, she's been absolutely crushing that in the month of July. Basically, almost every home game, she's just been dominating, going for 40 plus. So, I think if we're going to do stocks, let's just go for a blanket over everything. Otherwise, try to really narrow down between the assists and the rebounds, because she's live for that double double or triple double any night.
For sure, for sure. Yeah, maybe even though the assists got taxed more than the rebounds, maybe the assists the way to go because we want access to Connecticut's backcourt, which we all really like as a group. Their scoring potential here, and that would be a nice correlation. And also the rebounding. Yes, she had 12, but John Quell starting to ramp up minutes and get back to her normal self. She had 10 rebounds. That just kind of scares me because she can just soak up even more rebounds and hurt Alyssa's chances here, especially if other Connecticut players pick up boards too. So just something to think about if you're wrestling between the two props. Would you rank it her fantasy 1 and then her assist 2 and rebound 3, or how would you rank her props?
It's really close for me for the fantasy and assist. I think I'm going to go with assist for her number one prop, just because with the off chance of Jonquel kind of stepping back into her normal role, I feel like that bodes better for Alyssa's assist potential and probably hurts her rebounding potential overall. So if in normal theory we're going to have JJ come back and do her normal thing, then she should be getting the ball being fed from Alyssa Thomas here. And we actually saw a handful of the teammates between like Courtney and Bonner, both of them get hooked at their rebounding props by 1. Bonner ended up with 5 and Courtney ended up with 4.
Yeah.
So, I mean, very kind of, I wouldn't even say a miss, because it was right there on their normal season average, and we just kind of missed out on that 0.5 there. But Brianna, she's been such a huge factor off the bench too, and in this matchup, she's been getting quite a few rebounds and soaking up a lot of that inside usage. So all those things kind of going away from our rebounding props and leading a little bit more towards, I think, Alyssa's assist route.
Yeah, and I think like I said, I think it correlates well with where we're gonna segue to next. And I'll let you head on this because I know this is something that you were really interested in as well. But just Hyden's score potential in the matchup. She's has great history and just sets up well for her against really poor defenders on the perimeter for Phoenix, including Sophie. So I know that we had discussion wrestling between the points or 3 point made, but I think they're highly tied, intertwined together. So I get it if you want exposure to both. What is your thoughts on this, and would you say this is a core play for you today?
Yeah, it's definitely going to be a core play for me, I think, with it just being a 2-game slate and setting up right now on paper looks pretty fantastic for Heidemann today. I think honestly I'm going to go with some kind of a 70-30, 60-40 split between. Right now, I'm leaning a little bit more towards real points, just on the off chance that she could get a free throw attempt here or there, and maybe that one extra bucket puts us over the actual point, and instead of a push for the threes made. So I do like both of them. Honestly, I think they're in a great spot for us tonight. Phoenix is second worst team against the three ball. And in the two meetings this season so far, Heidemann, she put up 3 for 5 and 4 for 6 from beyond the arc. And currently now in 3 straight seasons, she's cleared this prop every game at home, and she's averaging about 12.2 points versus Phoenix. And in general for the season, she's averaging about 10.2 for her home score, anyways. So I don't have the utmost, like 100% confidence in one or the other as far as which is going to be a lock, but I'm going to have a pretty hefty amount of exposure to Heidemann in that points prop tonight.
I totally get it. Yeah, she's averaging 1.9 threes made on the season. It's taking around 4.7 attempts per game. But she caught fire early on in that game, so she took a couple more extra threes than normal. Especially in the first half, I think, buried 2 threes within 3 minutes. Yeah.
Yeah.
So she got going early on, and yeah, she took 2 early threes as well. And that kind of that killed Courtney Williams' first half PRA, which is of interest, because normally what happens is that, and I listened to the Connecticut broadcast team and beat writers. They say the coach wants Courtney to be aggressive early on and establish dominance early on and lead the team, and that's why Courtney is always in the first half so productive. And so it kind of flipped in this game. Heidemann kind of took on that role, but normally it's Courtney. So I think I wouldn't play these props together, but I think you can go back to Courtney's first half PR. It went down by 1, so now it's below 10, which is what we liked in the past to target for her. Her first half fantasy did not change, so 12.5. But yeah, it went down to 9.5. She was 1 bucket away from clearing that last time and easily cleared it in 3 games prior to that. Yeah, it just depends on Heidemann if she's getting hot again from 3. But I obviously they're negatively correlated, so I would not play these props together with Courtney's first half PRA and Heidemann's points, although they could both clear. But it just makes me nervous because we saw that range of outcome happen this last game with Heidemann thriving and Courtney taking a back seat in the first half. Do you like that, or do you stay away from first half props?
No, I like her first half prop anytime that PRA is under 10, because she just plays so many minutes in the first half, and her usage is pretty steady for that first stint with the starters. So I like that call. And honestly, I feel like she's due for, missing that 1 rebound. Could have got her up and over that last time too. So maybe this time she's a little bit more efficient, and we could see her light it up in the first half, and then see Heidemann close out the game a little bit further, because she's actually been picking up more minutes in the latter half of the games. Is kind of the last of the guards to check out for Connecticut.
Yeah. Courtney, she tends to disappear at times in the second half. That's why I like her first half stuff more so than full game at times. But the rebound is definitely live here. But I would say if Taurasi's out, maybe just depending on who plays. If Diamond starts and plays, I think that just reduces the 3-point shots going up for Phoenix, because Taurasi was averaging 8 to 10 threes a game, and so that could hurt Courtney's long rebound potential. Just something to think about with that. Okay, and like I said, with Jonquel Jones ramping up her minutes up to 26 in this game, and she finished with 10 rebounds. Anything you like for her? Could you get on her rebounds at 8?
Yeah, and even 8, I think we could definitely still go back there because she's still even live for more minutes than what we've seen her play here. And just on the wee off chance that maybe Phoenix can keep it a little bit closer, or coach feels like maybe, hey, we're getting close to the postseason here, and we need to make sure that Jonquel can actually be out there for 30 plus minutes a night. Um, we I need to go back and look at the rotations, but I do remember Jonquel. She got in the last 2 games kind of a little bit more run still in the fourth quarter there. And it looked like, they're still trying to at least keep her
Mm-hmm.
around a certain minute marker.
That's a great point. I'm glad you brought that up. So the starters checked out in the fourth. Alyssa Thomas, Bonner did not even touch the court. But yeah, JJ checked in for Alyssa Thomas and played with the backups, including Carrington and Brianna Jones. So that's a great point. I mean, that extra, or almost 4 minutes, she gets that again, even in a blowout. That could be big for rebounding. I mean, she had 2 rebounds in that 4 minutes. So
Hmm. And that was with Brianna out there or no?
yeah, yep.
Yeah. Okay.
For majority of it, yep.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so I think we could definitely consider that her 8 rebounds, and I mean honestly, even maybe her first half PRA or fantasy, we were taking some stabs at that before her injury,
Yeah,
and if I mean she's going to be back out there for majority of that again, then it's not bad.
it's not bad at all. She played the second most minutes in the first half, behind AT. So I could see that. I think if you want access to this blowout run, where she's going against backups, and playing with backups, I think totally makes sense to go with their full game rebound. And I would say if Diamond starts and plays, that's even more rebound potential because Diamond attacks the basket a lot. So it's going to be really short rebound misses and block potential rebounds. So did they give us stock props for her? No.
For Jonquil, nah, unfortunately.
That would have been nice, especially if Diamond's playing, because we know Sky and Diamond are going to attack the basket. Okay.
I will say just to kind of tack on to the end of that too. They gave us Jonquil her turnovers at 2.
Mm-hmm.
And I actually don't mind that going up against Turner because Turner's a pretty good stock machine,
Mm-hmm.
and she could just fall into, if JJ is going to get a little bit of extra usage here, she could turn it over in extra time.
Don't mind that either. I'll add that to the list.
Obviously, we're digging for some extra props and goodies today since we're kind of limited.
Yeah. I'm feeling pretty good about these Connecticut props though. Some of them I feel like we flushed it out where some of them were blowout proof. I feel like with either John Quill's first half and Courtney's first half prop, or even with JJ picking up these garbage minutes if that continues, and then Heidemann, she can clear that in 3 quarters, either her 3-point prop or a point. So I feel pretty good about some of our core Connecticut pieces here. Is there any others you wanted to touch on? Do you want Bonner? She's so frustrating. I mean, watch her have a monster game after shooting poorly in this last matchup. I mean, I guess she didn't shoot poorly. It's just
She
she
hooked
didn't.
all of her props by
Yeah,
literally 1 in her
yeah. Her
fantasy with
rebound, yeah,
Bendu.
her points.
So
Yeah, I
frustrating
guess
to
it
bet
was the
on.
minutes was the issue because, like I said, she checked out in the third and never returned,
Hmm.
and that scares me. Because if it obviously the Tarsi's on, it blows out again, which has a high chance.
It's definitely possible. Honestly, I'm kind of rooting for Phoenix to keep it a little close here because Taurasi had 0 points last game, and if I'm not mistaken, at some point in the third, Phoenix had actually pulled the lead back to almost like within 10 points, and there was at least a shot of keeping it reasonably close.
Yeah. Okay. Any others or catch up with chat?
Yeah, we can get caught up.
Okay. All right, what's up, guys? Let's see. OB, how you doing, man? Dylan, hey guys, hey, what's up, man? Drake, Sean Drake, bounce back, Sean, feeling it. Underrated, my dude. What's up, man? Appreciate all the hard work and hit the likes, everybody. Hey, yeah, definitely appreciate that. Hey, Corey, let's get it, family. Yep. Everyday fantasy. What it do, gents? Trying out here, man. We're mining these prop gems as hard as we can. Flo, what up? Hey, yeah, appreciate that. Hitting the likes definitely helps. Hey, what up, UCW? Let's snipe some unders and rob Johnny. Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it. I would be all in on some unders here if I knew for certain that the key players like Trossi and Enrique were either playing or not. Vince, hey, what up, Vince? McCown and Thornton props up. Okay, cool. Thanks. Cool. James said, good point on Alyssa's fantasy. Yeah, she's beast mode right now. Vince said, I think JJ getting healthy helps AT assists. Yeah, for sure. Corey said, how the hell Thornton get 15 rebounds versus Vegas in the first match? Because it's Thornton, man. She's Jay Crowder of the WNBA. She just she does things when you least expect it. I'll put it that way.
When she wants to.
Yeah. Vince said, great matchup for center rebounding. Las Vegas has the most rebounds to opponent centers. Yes, they allow the most offensive rebounds too because their defensive rebounding is not good because they like to push the pace and get out ahead and get back on defense. So it's a great point. Honor 0.5 rebound. Coach DFS said, amazing how y'all doing this today without a full board. Kudos. Hey, we're trying, Coach. I appreciate that, man. We're doing it for you guys, and because this is a tricky slate, obviously. Hey, what up, Cowboy? Tyler said, doesn't PRA for JJ feel too low, boys? Yeah, I mean, like we said, I mean, the monster game is brewing for JJ. It's coming, but you're betting on win and some uncertainty still, but she looks like she's ramping up. So I wouldn't mind her PRA, and like I said, I like her rebound too. Dylan said, I definitely like Heidemann and Thomas assist combo. Yeah, it's really nice, strong correlation there. Elaine said Skylar fantasy. Oh yeah, we didn't touch on that. We can look at that. So they have it at 39.5. I mean, we've seen it all the way up above 40 when she was on that heater. Yeah, I would say if Trossi's out, maybe. But man, did Connecticut give her problems? What's your thoughts, Eric?
It's doable. Like, it's definitely something that's in her wheelhouse. Right now, I'm not locking any Phoenix props in until I see confirmation because I can almost guarantee you Skylar, her props are going to change the second that news comes out. And right now, that'd be our luck if we went ahead, locked his stuff in, and then Tarasi gets ruled back in. And right now, I mean, with the matchup and how high these props are for her, one, you need four full quarters of play in order to still get that. But if Tarasi is going to be out for this one, all they're going to do is just double team Skylar here and leave it in the hands of all the B studs for Phoenix. So you're taking a huge risk with that right now, pre-flop.
I think that's a really sharp breakdown for that. But I mean, it's Sky. I mean, we always love her potential and like targeting her, but yeah, like you described, the game environment's just it's not there. But it's basketball, and WNBA, anything can happen. So not saying it's not out of the range of outcome, but I would say the odds are lower for her. Kayla Crowder, Thornton, Coach defense. Yeah, that's the truth. Low trap, WNBA unders never hit. Oh man, they can be really fruitful if you just get on the right ones on the right day. Like for example, Turner's points. On Tuesday, I played Turner's points under, and I played Hamby's points under, and they both finished with 0 points. So, yeah, it's all about looking at those players that have low usage, low shot volume, and who are just kind of phased out completely of the offensive scheme, and that's definitely Hamby and Turner, and so things like that. But they have low prop lines, so it's a tough sweat. Thornton rebounds. So everyone likes Thornton rebounds. Okay, I have not looked at them because they just posted. So Tyler said, "I like Dallas as a team without Enrique." Not gonna lie. I would say that the usage definitely gets spread out because Enrique is accounting for. Here, we'll get into that now. It's a good segue. Enrique is accounting for 17 field goal attempts per game, which is insane. I feel like that's right there with like Skylar, like league leaders. 17.2 attempts per game and almost 28% usage rate. Yeah, all that distributed out, and we saw in that last game, Dallas played probably one of their better games this season against Chicago and pulled the upset on them without Enrique. But I feel like that was kind of a trap game for Chicago. They came off a really big overtime win by 3 points against Connecticut in Connecticut without Candace. And Candace just didn't look 100% and probably just shouldn't have played. They probably would have played better without her playing, honestly. So I think you got to take a grain of salt. And we know Dallas, man, they're so up and down. You'll see that spike game, especially with players like Mabry and Thornton, and then they'll just disappear the next game. So if Mabry's not hitting her shot, which is majority of the time, and she gets it and she finishes with her usual 5 points, they're toast if Enrique's out. So there's some volatility. So let's get into that. Finish the breakdown. We'll start with the away team as usual, but it's Vegas at Dallas. Vegas 7.5 point favorites. Vegas is so fun to watch and such a good team, but they're just there's some inconsistencies, especially with their offense. I feel like there's just too many mouths to feed, and it's too high. It's almost too good where they just don't know what to do and end up just stalling. They've dropped some losses here recently that they shouldn't have lost. But I think going into Dallas, and especially if Enrique doesn't play, it's a get right spot for them. And let's go and look at the last matchups. They were both, I think, earlier in the season. One of the games. Okay, so this one was in Dallas, like tonight. And we had the full roster playing because one of the games Jackie didn't play. And Plum went off. Asia went off. Asia had 2 steals, 4 blocks, 25 points, her usual thing. And then Plum went absolutely off and took a ton of threes for 4 of 11, 27 points. And then the game before that, earlier in the season, she had the same stat line. She was 4 of 11 from 3 as well. She had 32 points that game. But again, Jackie was out. So with Jackie being out, that's a huge boost for Plum. And she played 40 minutes as a result.
That was a Wilson foul game too.
Yeah, Asia fouled out. Okay, so I think one key thing to point out is that Asia and Breanna Stewart are fighting neck and neck for MVP right now. All the predicted votes and Vegas odds, it's like a very slim margin in favor of Asia. And last night I was watching the Seattle game, and the commentators just kept harping on how Breanna Stewart really wants this MVP and was out there trying her best at stat pad, and Seattle was really helping her do that. And that's why she had over 30 points, and she checked back in the fourth when the game was out of reach, and she checked back in to try to finish with a double-double because she had 8 rebounds and over 30 points, and she really tried to get that double-double. So maybe Asia responds to that, and we know Asia, when she gets motivated and up and goes beast mode, it's a wrap, man. She's going to destroy it. I think for me, I think I would probably want, just because I'm scared of a block because how inconsistent Dallas is, and especially if Ricky doesn't play, I'm going to lean for Asia, her first half fantasy. I think we're getting a discount on it. It's at her full game is at 43.5, I believe.
Hmm.
And her first half last night was, or early this morning was 20.5.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
still there.
huge discount there, um, from relative to the full game. And we know we've talked about this ad nauseum about her usage rate in the first quarter and how much she dominates in the first half. Um, and Dallas, they give up the second most points in the paint. That's where they really their main weak spot because they give up the second least threes. Very stout perimeter defense. So best way to attack Dallas is in the paint, and yeah, the potential. Yeah, they're third now in points allowed in the paint. I just think Asia's going to have her way with McCown here, and I like the block potential for Asia here in the first half with McCown out there because she's going to live near the basket, so and try to and she's going to take a lot of shots. McCown is, especially if Rike's out. So I like the stock potential in the first half for Asia. I'm just worried about full game props for her, especially like her rebounds, because if it doesn't go the full game, it's going to be hard for her to clear that 9.5. And Dallas is a pretty solid rebounding team. So I'd probably stay away from props like her full game props like that, especially with our fantasy being so high. But what are your thoughts on her? And then what about Plum? Do you think this history continues today, or does Dallas clamp down on the perimeter like they normally do or have done this season?
It's definitely going to depend on if we get Enrique in tonight or not. She really surprised me with getting ruled out last minute
Yeah,
in the last
she was
game.
probable and then ruled out late, right?
Yeah, she got ruled out right beforehand. So that was pretty unfortunate, and hopefully, I think she's going to play. Honestly,
Yeah.
with this being back home now in front of Dallas home court, I like the call on Asia. She's got a higher skill set than McCowan, I think, just on raw talent. But McCowan's been pretty good. I got to give her some credit. I think I was maybe one of the first ones on her in the home road splits, and then finally after Satu with this extended injury here, we've been able to see McCowan really get this extra run and thrive as a starting center here for Dallas. But Asia, she's been Vegas's tried and true road warrior all season. Just that first quarter, first run. I mean, we're talking 35+% usage in that opening stint that she has with the team. And even more so, I think lately, as you mentioned with the MVP narrative here, we saw Big Stu just erupt last night. She was like 5 from 6
On a
from beyond.
mission, right?
Yeah, she could not miss. I mean, it
Yeah.
just absolutely torched them. So I would honestly expect to see somewhat of a response here from Asia. We could see her really attack the glass and thrive on the inside. And even in the last game where Vegas kind of almost let the game get out of control, she was shooting it from beyond the arc too, took a lot of 3-point attempts. So between Asia and Plum, I think one of the two of them, as per usual, going to lead the team in just raw points and shot attempts. I'm still kind of at a coin toss, I think, for who's going to lead here, but I'm leaning a little bit more towards Asia just with the points in the paint allowed from Dallas. She might have a little bit of tough time rebounding, but I
Yeah.
don't think she's going to have any kind of defense going up against her. And none of the backups are going to pose any kind of will against her. So if McCowan gets in any kind of foul trouble here, I mean, she's going to just go rampant against this team. So I really like that the first half fantasy call. I think that we're getting enough of a discount here, and they're projecting her to have that extra stock somewhere in the third quarter. I think is where we're getting that big gap between the discrepancy. So I like that for the first half fantasy call, and honestly, you could even consider with how McCowan or between that front court for Dallas, how many fouls they've been giving up lately. Her real points at 10.5 for the first half for Asia, I think is definitely something you can consider today.
Yeah. Remember
Um,
the days we used to get it at 8.5 and 9?
yeah, she'd come out there and clear it in the first quarter.
Yeah. It's I just wanted to check on her first half stint in that game. She didn't foul out. It's a different scenario here, obviously, because McCown was coming off the bench and played limited minutes, but just to get an idea in the matchup. So let's see that game.
Refs were calling everything on her. That was such a sus game. While you do that, though, I'll hit on Plum
Yeah,
here real fast.
Yeah.
Got to say, I think Plum, one of my favorite props for her in Vegas today is going to be her 3 free throws made. Just an absolutely great history versus Dallas here. If we take it way back for her in her original draft, she was drafted in San Antonio before the league had those changes. So we got a small kind of homecoming narrative for Plum going back to Dallas today. And in the last 2 seasons so far against Dallas, 2 games this year, she went 8 from 8 from the free throw line and 5 from 8. And then 2 seasons straight, 5 out of 5 games, she's cleared this free throw prop. Currently, her road average, she's about 4.7 attempts and 3.9 free throws made. So we're getting almost a point cushion for attempts and the free throws made here.
Yeah. What? And I never like betting unders on her too, but I think it's something else you can consider. They bumped her 3-point prop up to 3.5. It's usually at 3.
I saw that.
I mean, Plum is probably one of my favorite WNBA players, so I don't like doing unders on her, but I've gotten it right before with her going against good perimeter defenses. I know she's made 4 in both matchups, but different teams, different units, and she had to take 11 3-point attempts to get those 4. I think there's a high chance that she could finish with 3 threes and fall under that 3.5. So something a low line if you wanted to consider. I went back and looked at that game that Asia went off against Dallas at Dallas. She had 12 points in the first half, 1 rebound, 2 blocks, and 1 turnover. So I think she might have fell short of that 20.5 because she just didn't get it done with the boards.
Was that the foul game?
That's not the foul game. That's the game where she finished with 25 points. She scored half of her points in the first half, 12 points. I believe, she finished with 18 points, around 18 fantasy point. But she had 12 real points. Maybe, I don't know. What do you think? Maybe it's her points is the way to go over her fantasy for the first half.
Maybe for this one, since we could get that extra trip or 2 to the free throw line.
And how many points Dallas bleeds in the paint. I would just hate if she's not getting it done on the glass and that she doesn't get there with the 20 fantasy. Okay. And then you said Plum, you really like her free throws.
Yeah, I like the free throws made.
And then we can secondary. You could consider her.
Her free throws are at 3 flat.
Oh, okay. I see why you like it then. Okay. Any other Vegas targets, props?
I'll give a shout out just because the models likes her, and even though I think she's still coming off some of these crazy games, but I think Hamby's PRA somewhere. Man, we were talking insanity down at 13.5. I mean, this was a player we were very much over on it, like 18, 19. That was too low for her. And for this, I think if she just gets any kind of involvement in actually shooting, that's way too low for her. She torched Dallas the 2 games this season, like not even close.
Yeah, but if you go back and look at her history early in the season against teams, she'll have like 19 rebounds, 14 rebounds, and then this past month when she plays those same teams, she has like less than 5 rebounds. Yeah,
it's a scary click, I know, for sure. It's got to give her a little shout out though, because that's
Yeah.
just way too low. And actually, one last thing, I think Jackie under on her real points at 14.5 is somewhere that we could go for this matchup.
Okay. Yeah, we know that she thrives at home.
And Dallas being tough on guards, that's going to be a thing for us, especially if Enrique is going to be in. I think even more so on these props if we do get Enrique in.
Yeah, so let's just segue over to Enrique and Dallas. This type of matchup just sets up perfect for Enrique. The only thing is, one, we don't know if she's going to play, and two, if she does play, how limited is she with this? It's an ankle issue, right? I believe.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, she torched them in both matchups, and totally makes sense because the way you beat Vegas is with the three ball, as we all know. They give up the most 3-point made, and they allow the most 3-point attempts, and Enrique is going to chuck it from three for sure. She's averaging 8 3-point attempts per game and almost 3 threes made per game. And yeah, guards like her absolutely torch Vegas all season long. So I'm going to pull up past games. If you look at her, she had 28 points, 4 of 9 from three, totally in line with her season average there with 8 to 9 3-point attempts on the season. Took a ton of free throws there. Probably why Asia. No, this is the game Asia fouled out. And then the other game, this is on the road. That was the home game. She took 15 threes. Oh my gosh. I mean, wasn't efficient, but still made 3 and got over 20 points there. So I don't know if we're gonna get her props before the first game lock. So for a late night card, I think you could keep an eye out for her 3-point prop. I imagine it's gonna open up probably 3.
They might open it at 2.5.
Oh, I would love that. They did for sure. And her points would probably be 20 and a half.
Yeah, it's got to be somewhere right around that 20 marker.
I would say if they give us her assist prop at 3 or 3.5 again, you could consider that if she's not 100% with her ankle. She had 4 assists in that game. And she had 3 assists in the other one. I think if she's not 100%, she's going to look to dish it out more, play make, and find open 3-point shooters around her, especially if Vegas tries to trap her on the perimeter. I think I can get behind that. Her rebounding is very tempting, but with that ankle, it makes me nervous. But yeah, she could definitely get it done on glass with how many threes Vegas is going to take. Vegas is right there in top 3 3-point attempts. The third in 3-point attempts. So they're going to chuck it. Kelsey Plum's going to chuck it. So, yeah, I would love that. If her rebound prop was at 3.5 too, but I would probably see the assist over that just because of the ankle. Makes me a little bit nervous. But I assume, if she plays, maybe she's a full go. And then I'm staying away from Mabry, Gray. Oh, thank you. And then, yeah, the community and chat likes starting rebounds, so we can break that down before we get out of here. And then I want to hear your thoughts on McCown.
Yeah, I think that Thornton has kind of come back into her normal self here. I'm not really sure what was going on with that stretch where she was just completely ghost mode. I mean, we're talking full game props were down to under 10 PRA, which is just totally crazy. But she's looking a lot better lately. Two things I think that kind of bode pretty well for her today. I don't know if I have that much confidence to go for just her straight up rebounds, especially since that's been kind of on the increase over the last few games. But her PRA is something that they've been pretty hesitant about moving along here so far. And a big reason why I like that for us today is she not only is going to get in there on the glass and pick up a couple rebounds, but she's been shooting the three ball more lately. And we know that that's one of the biggest reasons that teams are able to compete with Vegas here is taking that long ball. And for her, honestly, this could be kind of a scary thing if she ended up with 6 rebounds and hooked us at that 1 or the 0.5 there. But if she's going to take a couple shots here, and you see she's cleared that in the last 4 or 5 games, and actually the game prior to that as well, she cleared. So she's been stepping back in the offense and kind of giving us, I think, flashes of what Satu should be doing if she was back in the starting role for us. So with Hamby being so non-existent, I think on Vegas side of things here, I don't know if I want to go with her PRA is the number 1 and rebounds for number 2, but they're pretty close. And I think that we got to consider Thornton here today just for her size. And hopefully if she stays on the floor, she's playing almost 33 minutes a night now.
Yeah, crazy minutes for sure for her, because we saw early in the season she took a real dip in her minutes. Okay. It's fast-paced matchup. I get it with the PRA. More shots going to go up, so more assists and scoring potential possibly for her. So
Definitely. And then I think for McCowan, 9 rebounds seems pretty high. I don't know if I like that for her, but her points, especially for Vegas, how many points in the paint that they allowed. I do like that 14.5 for the real points, or maybe even just going with the PRA while it's under 25. Both of those seem like fairly reasonable spots for us today. I just wish she could make a free throw, man. She's so disappointing.
We don't have much sample size with her, but how has she done in fast-paced matchups? Does it negatively affect her or no effect at all?
It's fairly
massive pace up spot for her, because Dallas is second to last in pace. They like to run a real slow half-court offense, and obviously Vegas is the fastest team in the league.
I think slightly bodes well for her, but it's more neutral just because when we were covering Dallas the other day, I'd mentioned that coaches are still playing her. Like her minutes, her game script doesn't change at all. So as long as she's not getting into this early, really massive foul trouble, she's been having to get 3 fouls in the first half in order for the coach to actually pull her. So unless she's getting into foul trouble, she's almost locked in for this 26 to 28 minutes almost every night.
Yeah, and Atlanta, they're third in pace. She had 29 PRA, and Indiana's second in pace, and she had 27. But Indiana's also the worst defense. I'm with you on the PRA. It's unfortunate we can't get her PR. But yeah, I think I like your idea on the PRA as a possible play for her.
And if you go back, just to kind of give you guys a little extra layer here, if you go back to the last 3 seasons, so go back from 2019 to 2021, yeah, she was with Indiana on a different team, but going up against Vegas, she's had some of her ceiling performances in all 4 seasons so far versus Vegas. Just cracking basically a double-double in every time they've played. So if anything for history, right now we're setting up for a pretty good game for her.
Yeah, it's just got to keep her hands to herself and not hack Asia.
Yeah.
I like it. With, like you said, with the coach wanting to give her unlimited run and develop, and how productive she's been, I can get behind that. So yeah.
And we also know that Gray is going to be traded in the offseason. So if they're doing something with her being a big piece move, more than likely we're going to see Satu is going to slot over and play that Gray role now. And almost assuredly, between McCowan and Thornton is going to be their starting 5, or starting at the 5 for them. Like I can almost guarantee that's going to happen next year.
Yeah. Yeah, and Sabby's out again today, right? So, And this Isabel only played 8 minutes last game. This is a good matchup for her though, for her outside shooting. But yeah, her minutes are all over the place.
Yeah, I
Okay.
can't trust her
Yeah.
until we get a full game or something. She was doing really good work for us, but we called that a while ago that those minutes were trending down, and now we're just seeing it come out.
Yeah. Okay. I'm feeling pretty good, much better about this slate now after breaking this down together. Let's do our team card and give ourselves an hour before lock. You want to start off?
Yeah, let's go with Heidemann and the 8.5 points.
Like it. And I'll just go ahead and pair it with Alyssa Thomas's assist. Got to get a cover girl in there.
I like it. You want that for the pick or just for the freebie?
Oh, because we would both play it anyway. I'll use it as my pick. You can go ahead.
Okay. Let's go with Plum and the free throws.
All right. And then I'll go with obviously we're limited. The board's not full yet, so I'm probably gonna go with Asia's first half prop here. Wrestling between the points and fantasy.
Which one are you leaning to?
I just like the block upside here with McCown playing so many minutes now and living by the rim, but I'm nervous about the rebounding potential. I'll just go with the points. Yeah, but you could interchange that with the fantasy. And since we have a first half prop in there, we should probably flex with the 5 pick because we know how first halves can be. Do we want a Dallas prop?
Yeah, let's go with I don't know, between Thornton or McCowan. One of their PRA. Do you have a lean towards either or?
I trust McCowan more.
Okay.
I know Thornton's going to play probably 5 more minutes, but it's Kayla Crowder Thornton, so.
Okay, I'm with it.
But I'm gonna have exposure to both probably in separate cards. I'll probably have a card with McCown's PRA and then Thornton's PRA and a separate card. All right, cool. I brought, as promised, I brought my Carolina Reaper Pepper because I deserve all the pain for playing Destiny Henderson. Probably the worst play of
that
the
was so
season
painful
so far. So there's a Carolina Reaper. And these things, man, they cause so much pain on the stomach. But yeah, thanks, Destiny. Oh man,
Tastes good. All that good pain.
no. Thing with Reapers, man, they just hit you right away. Like a lot of peppers have a slow burn. Oh, all right. Now I'm not gonna be able to do the card rankings, but okay. Oh wow. People were worried about McCown getting in foul trouble.
Nah. Unless she's picking up an obscene amount of them, that's not going to affect her.
All right. Back tomorrow. Are we gonna stream on your channel tomorrow?
Yes, I think so.
Okay.
Make it
Good luck
happen.
with that. I'm gonna let you finish it up. I'm struggling here.
All right. No, you're good. I mean, I think honestly that's going to be about it for our breakdown today. We'll be in the Discord channel, links down below. Make sure you guys like and subscribe our video for today so you don't miss out whenever we go live between the channels. Didn't end up doing a video on my channel today, but you guys can follow me and at Eric's Prop Stop over on YouTube, and make sure you guys check us out on Twitter. Usually we do daily picks, any kind of last minute news, props, updates, and all that good stuff. I think that's honestly going to be about it, man. We're going to hop in Discord, get the cards broke down for what we can, and hopefully we get everything ready to go before lock.
All right. I gotta go recover. See you guys. Whew.
Let's fucking go. We about to go big. Kill him with the brass pig. Let's fucking go. We going out blazing.
Let's get hunting.
This is population. About to go big. Kill him with the brass pigs. About to go big. Kill him with the brass pigs. 24/7 researching, it's all a fantasy. But if I make the right plays, it pays automatically. Bankroll showing that I know it dope strategy. On a winning streak, I'm stacking a dose of the bookies, all get mad at me. Confident with how it plays, not clicking on a flex today. 10 times the money, and we all about to get paid. Eric and Josh on the stream, they be killing it. Never gonna stop it, they like if you feeling it. Digging the players, they all know what time you can't make up your mind and just go with your gut. Fantasizing Sasha Cloud, Gabby Williams said watch your mouth. They 1 and they 2, I played the over, they come through. Jackie Young and Kelsey Plum, pick them both, we stacking them. Going big to the maximum, just push them and we cashing them. Let's fucking go, we about to go big. Kill him with the brass pig. Let's fucking go, we going out blazing. This is population. About to go big. Kill him with the brass pigs. About to go big. Kill him with the brass pigs. We about to go big.
This is the game.
We going out blazing.
Let's get hunting.
This is population.